Welcome to Hope Natural Health, the podcast inspiring you to be your best version. Join me, your host, Dr. Erin, naturopathic doctor, dog mom, cancer survivor, and girl boss weekly as we discuss all things health, hormones, and happiness with a little side of this thing called life. Welcome back to the Hope Natural Health podcast, where I get you healthy the right way. Last week, I talked all about your skin, my skin cancer diagnosis, and why you should not ignore your skin. Why you should not ignore your skin. Yeah, that sounded right. Sometimes you say words and they don't sound like they came out right. But yeah, go back and listen to that. It is a really good episode about your skin and why you can't ignore it. You need to pay attention to it. This week, we're going to be talking about your period and how you can use your period for productivity. This has been a hot topic, and whenever I talk about it on social media, I get so much response from it because so many women do not know that you can use your period to work for you and not have it work against you. So I'm going to give you a little brief synopsis about how you can use the different phases of your cycle for your productivity. And then I have a special announcement at the end. So the first phase of our cycle is really intertwined with the follicular phase is our menstrual phase. And this is the day that you start your period. It can last up to 7 days. So during this phase, we really want to focus on more of evaluation of maybe what happened the last month, analysis of where we want to go for this current month, and then intuition. So we want to look inside ourselves. When we menstruate, our body's going through a lot. So we want to make sure that we honor that and we kind of just slow down. And this is where we can look inward for a lot of things with our productivity. So you can evaluate how we're doing in your current work, or maybe how you're doing on a project that you're starting to work on. You can reassess your goals, or maybe go back to revisit things that are in your planner. You can look at and analyze last month and the goals that you set last month, or maybe look at the goals that you have this upcoming month. So that's where, having your planner will be helpful. And you might actually want to take a personal day during this cycle this time of your cycle, because this is where your body's going to be at its weakest probably. So it's okay to honor that and know that you might not want to work for a couple days. You also really, 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 like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, trust your gut, go inward and listen to your body. If you don't want to do anything, don't do anything. This is, a big thing that women go through is the menstrual phase and shedding that endometrial lining. And it's okay to honor that, and don't beat yourself up if, you're supposed to be going a million miles. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to take lots of breaks. Your body's going through a lot. So use this and that your hormones to really give yourself grace during this phase. And if you understand that, then it makes sense why you just feel meh during your period. And if you realize that, you can honor it and not beat yourself up for being lazy. It's okay. You can take a step back. So after we menstruate is the latter part of our follicular phase, usually days 8 through 13, or whenever you finish menstruating, that's day 5 or 6 to day 13. And our estrogen and our follicular stimulating hormone are rising. So our powers during this phase of our cycle are really more creativity and planning. So taking it a little bit up from the menstrual phase of intuition and analyzation, now we're going to get a little bit more creative, put ideas on paper, plan things. This is the power of estrogen. This estrogen is driving you to do this. So when we're looking at our work tasks, this is where we want to dive into mentally challenging tasks that we've really put off and we've been dreading doing because our brain doesn't want to work. So our brain wants to work now because we've got a lot of brain power, and estrogen is feeding that. You might try and start a new project, plan a new project. Your brain is really, really high functioning right now. You might want to reach out to new clients or new people that you can bring into your business, and really sit down with that pen and paper, your planner, and brainstorm and mind map some things that are going on in your business. Use estrogen to your benefit. This is what it's there for. The next phase is the ovulatory phase. So days 14 through 16 typically. Now, ovulation can happen, different times for everyone, but it's usually between these days. we don't ovulate on the same day each month. So this is where knowing your cycle and tracking your cycle and having it somewhere available so that you can track it and know that you can use this phase to really, really help you. So this is one of my favorite phases with productivity, because this is where estrogen and testosterone are at its peak. And this is where we want to collaborate and communicate. This is where I try to plan all my podcast recordings, because this is the time that I feel most energized and we're glowing and we want to put ourselves out there. You want to have important conversations when you ovulate or around the time you ovulate, because your communication skills are at its best. You can even ask for a raise, like put yourself out there, like be bold. You can plan your social media posts, your blog posts. Again, communication is where it's going to be peaking right now. Record videos. Your energy's at its peak. Use testosterone and estrogen to its benefit. Attend networking events. Go out, socialize. Maybe go ask for a date. Go out on a date. Look for a job. Maybe go on an interview. Sometimes these things are hard to plan, but if we understand where we are in the cycle during certain events, so say you planned a job interview during your menstrual phase, maybe plan that day before to really rest so you can have a little bit more energy than you normally would because you have that job interview. But if you can plan it around ovulation, do it then. And then the last half of our phase, the luteal phase, day 17 through the time we menstruate again, around day 28, is really probably my favorite one, is my productivity phase. This is where we can get stuff done. You want to cross those items off your to-do list. You want to really kind of put away social events, because this is the time to boggle down and get things done on your to-do list. Progesterone is at its peak. So this is what's driving this last half of our cycle, is using progesterone. And we want to organize. I love this phase because this is literally my favorite part of business. It's getting stuff done and organization. So I live for my luteal phase of my cycle. So, and then you can notice at the end of your luteal phase, you might wear out. And that's not you wearing out, it's your hormones are wearing out, because now progesterone and estrogen are dropping and we're about to have our menstrual phase again. So that leads me to some very exciting news, is that I have the period productivity planner. If it's not out already, it's going to be hitting the shelves soon. Super, super excited to have this product for you. There's going to be an online version and a physical copy. So I will link all of the information in the show notes on how you can purchase this, but I put it together so that you can plan your work around your cycle. So now you'll have a planner to put in the phases of your menstrual cycle, track your cycle, and really plan these events around where your hormones are the most beneficial. So I hope this was valuable. If it was, I'd love to hear from you about what you thought about it or something that you didn't know. Share it with a friend, and we'll see you all next week.